Hey, we gotta
get this man another drink.
I laid out the scenario. We gotta win Sunday.
That was a gentleman's handshake, right? It was such a reach, but I respect it so much. That's a gentleman's handshake.
What did Kobe say?
I like it.
What did Kobe say? Kobe said, "Wow, that was a Bika Miobi stretch."
Whatever that guy said.
So I guess we should move on to the next topic then, because we said, what if Flus doesn't win?
What's the flip side of this?
Well, the flip side is, if
Agent Chaos came up with that topic.
Huh?
Agent Chaos came up with that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just sent it, and I was like, "Good topic."
We went with it.
Y'all was having a you see these sidebar conversations. You don't include me. I feel like the odd man out. I am the ugly cousin.
Sidebar. He was on the Chicago Bears podcast today. We only did a whole show.
You brought it up. We used it.
He did a whole show.
I know. I'm sorry.
You brought it up. I mean, he sent in a pic that you would have sent the Flus. So take that as solace.
I'm just joking. I don't care.
I came up with this topic. Contrary to popular belief, I'm the Barry Gordy. It's a great line. I saw that. Could Matt Eberflus get the Staley treatment if we lose to the Browns, which is hilarious because the Bears mascot is named what?
Staley.
Thank you.
You all practice this?
No.
We're professionals. We're professionals.
Which tells me he's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
He was on point with that. No, could Matt Eberflus get the Staley treatment? I think that's a conversation. I don't think it's a conversation for in season. But the basis of, because we've already heard they're not going to fire anybody in season. But the basis of the conversation is, could he be fired for this game, even with how well he's coached his defense?
Yes.
But again, I think the thing is,
this could be the cat. All right, so here's my scenario.
Again, the defense is looking better.
Defense, 12th ranked defense in total defense, 22nd in passing defense, second in rushing defense, which is elite, 23rd in total points. The red zone is a big problem for this Bears.
Once we get that pass rush,
I take that back. Not the Browns game, but definitely the Packers game.
What?
If we get blown out,
both Packers.
If we lose against the Browns. We get carved up by Joe Flacco.
If we're losing,
and we lose against the Packers again,
and
it's like our defense gets
that's two losses.
That's two losses.
That's a different statement. I think that if I'll go as far as to say, if you lose against the Browns right now, this is the last game as far as GM wise, people who aren't a part of the organization that we care about. Now, McCaskey wise, we know what games they care about.
Packers.
You have to beat the Packers.
You got to beat the Packers.
No matter what, you have to beat the Packers. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how you find a way to do it. You have to beat the Packers. If Flus loses,
you can lose every game.
He can lose the next 3 games. If he beats the Packers and we finish with 6 wins, he's probably staying.
I would say convincing Packers win though. Like, I don't want that just guy out of there.
You don't want that.
I want a statement team. I want us to be a dominant. Like, you have a chance every time to play. That's what I want. I want the Chiefs kind of allure. I want a Patriots type of allure. I want knowing that I'm a favorite going into these games. I'm tired of maybe they win if they get fortunate. I'm tired of that.
Can I throw
I think that's this season. That's this season. Yeah. We're not supposed to be here right now.
No, we're supposed to be better.
We're not supposed to be in the hunt picture.
We're either supposed to be really deep, actually,
we're supposed to be really good or really, really bad.
Right. And we're in the hunt. Now, granted, what do we ask for? Right? We need to be in the hunt graphic.
Jesus.
No, I'm sorry.
And what I said is this, right? Think about this.
Where we are.
Here's the tough part. If the Bears win out or they lose one game, which I kind of see the lose one game as the option that might happen.
Give me that draft watch.
8-5 over the last. The 8-5 to finish the season since first 4. That's improvement. That's a good team. It's a good football team. 8-5 is a good football team. Can you carry that into the next season? Remember, the Lions didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
9-8 didn't get them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you're right.
If what we said was be the Lions.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, we should have said more.
Yeah, we should have.
We said be the Lions. We should have said more, right? Like I said we did the when you get 3 wishes for a genie, and you say, give me all the riches of the world, and then the genie give you like unlimited water and be like, what I'm gonna do with this? Be like, come on now.
Sell it. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got water, bro.
You got
like
water.
that's the riches of the world, right? Like that's kind of what we got.
Interesting. Can I throw a curveball in this?
Oh,
Might as well.
Agent Chaos.
That's what he's hitting, baby.
The one thing I would say is I went Eberflus, but I really would say Luke Getsy is on it. Like if you go against Luke Getsy with a depleted Browns defense,
Yeah,
and you look pedestrian and we look horrible, we're not moving the ball. I think ultimately he will be really on the hot seat because I see our defense doing well.
That's kind of I think where we're all heading towards.
Yeah, I see our defense performing well.
They're going to get
give them that.
turnovers. Can they capitalize on this?
now what I will say is the difference here, right?
Because why are you playing afraid if their defense is depleted?
I think here's the thing, though. I talked about this with Matt Loeb of the Believe Network as well. He covers the Browns over there. Dog Pound Podcast, I believe. It's a crazy name. Crazy.
Shut up.
You still have Myles Garrett. You still have Zadarius Smith. That's your defensive line, right? That means your quarterback will probably be under duress. The people that are stepping in, you've got Alex Wright. Alex Wright's a third-round pick. You've got Isaiah McGuire, who could be the guy that's coming off a practice squad. Probably for them. They're putting guys on the practice squad who was a fourth-round pick last year. Right? So that means that you scouted this guy. You looked at this guy. You said, I want that guy to be a major part of our team. And you had too much talent ahead of him. Of course, how this defense looked to where a fourth-round pick was on your practice squad. That makes a difference. You're not bringing slouches in. You're still bringing guys into the game that can make an impact.
You still got to test it out, though.
No. I think, but what I'm saying is
we've
right.
seen Luke go away from the challenge, and it's like,
Right.
Let us see if we can do it.
Play scared.
Like, don't play scared. Like,
Play
let's see
to
if we
win.
can do it. Now, if it's
here
not
we go.
working out, okay, abort mission. This is a good
to win
chance.
the
Like,
game.
but give me a series where I can say, hey, Justin can or cannot do it. Don't try to like give me this. We're just gonna throw. I'm throwing to you, Pat. Like that, I don't want to do that. Like I mean,
I caught it. Ah!
Technically, if I throw it to you, that's a pass. Now,
No
run 50
EQ,
yards.
St. Brown. No EQ, St. Brown.
So,
Well,
no,
you
I
know
don't wanna
what?
do that.
To me, I like I said before, I would really like to see us attack them kind of how we did the Lions at the Lions. That that offensive game plan looked great. It was exciting. It was like, yes, that's what I want to see. I would hope that we can kind of come out with some type of some pizzazz or aggressiveness on the offensive side of the game of the ball, and you're not playing not to lose. That's what
Every time you say that, I think of Matt Nagy.
I think of Lovey.
Every time some pizzazz, I'm like, I don't know.
But I think of Lovey when I playing not to lose was the Lovey stuff. Like it was like offense was like mediocre, great defense, and we're gonna let the defense. And we have special teams. We have a Hall of Famer, soon to be Hall of Famer, and Devin Hester just tearing the whole league up in terms of return. So you kind of had those safety valves. But
100%. I'm with you on that, man. I look at this as the Bears have a great opportunity here. And Browns did finally put their injury report in. Myles Garrett was a full practice today, so he's going to be ready to go. He is banged up, but he's still Myles Garrett.
How many sacks does he have for the year?
15, if I'm not mistaken.
He's got 15
He has 15
sacks
by himself?
Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett does?
Myles Garrett might be Defensive Player of the Year. Are y'all tweaking?
How many sacks he got?
He's got 13 sacks on the season.
Jesus. How many sacks we got as a team?
Do I even have a sound effect for that?
How many sacks we got?
And there you have it, homeboy.
Wow.
He's got 13 sacks. Myles Garrett's elite.
No,
I know he's elite. I know that.
But
13 sacks?
What's the question here? What are we?
How many sacks do we have as a team?
We're up there now.
Yeah,
We're
That's a
comparable.
good question. Now, granted, right? Myles Garrett had 2 sacks versus the Steelers. He had none versus the Broncos. He did not play versus the Rams. He had no sacks versus the Jaguars, and the team has gotten more beaten up. But I continue to say this. We watched Aiden Hutchinson, right? What did Aiden Hutchinson do?
He got to the
I'm going to start on the right tackle. All right, you were kind of tough.
I'm gonna
start at the right guard. You were a lot easier. I'm going to start at the center. You don't exist. I'm going to start at the left guard. All right, Tevin Jenkins, good block, baby. I'm going to go to the left tackle. Braxton Jones. Oh, you can't guard me? Bet. I'm going here all day. He's on a J.J. Watt style of play type of player where he basically says, I'm going to pick who I'm going against. And I'm going to go against him all day, and he's going to die.
Yeah, Myles Garrett is.
I like Mike Nice's. I like Mike Nice's chat. You're talking about, Montez got 10. We got a double-digit sack guy. fellas. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that is that is a positive for him. And the one thing about Montez Sweat is, right, Gerard Christian, I believe, is going to be stepping in for the I want to say is right tackle or left tackle. Gerard Christian is going to step in for the left tackle spot. Gerard Christian, guess who he used to play for? The Washington Commanders.
Ooh.
So guess who knows how that guy might play?
Got a little insight.
That's what I like. So I wouldn't be surprised if you go down there and get him back. Carl, you better get him, Carl. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Montez Sweat go versus Gerard Christian overplaying against Hudson on the right side, because I know how Christian plays. I know Christian's tendencies. I know now, granted, right? Like, this is also assuming that he ever went against him in practice. I would assume there was some point that he did, but there was a lot of talent on that team, right? You got Deron Payne. You've got Chase Young on the other side. Like, it depends, right? Without Yannick there, you're looking at possibly Montez Sweat doing a very similar thing to what Myles Garrett can do.
Mike Davis is like, what up, Breeze? How many Pat pauses and Joel Glass slips did I miss?
Hey, man,
Not that many. Did we have one pause? I think we got one pause.
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going.
Let's call it a pause-free Friday.
No mess ups today, Mike Davis. I've been very good.
A pause-free Friday.
No, I didn't. I did update. I do have the roster
Brandon
updated.
got a pause already, I think.
Oh, he did?
He's been here like 10 minutes. He already got a pause.
Yeah, but you said Pat pauses, though.
Yeah, a Pat pause. I don't think I've had a pause.
I did update the roster, though, so that's fixed. So we're good. We're good to go. But anyway.
You do be tweaking on that. I'm not going to lie to you.
Hey, man, it's a lot.
I love that. That's the glass.
That's what it is. The perfectionist in him is like, even if it's off,
baby.
he knows it's off. Sometimes we don't know it's off. He'd be like, okay, no, that's wrong.
Nah, we be seeing it. I be calling.
No, you know why? Because everybody's got critical eyes around here, so they all see it. Even the chat.
We calling you out.
No, I'm just saying everybody.
That's all right.
I'm just saying, I want to make sure
get it together, baby.
We're trying to be a professional.
We're trying to be professional.
Hold on, we got a question from V-Dog. He said, a question for the Breeze panel as well as Flus has coached these past several weeks. You can't ignore all the dysfunction that took place early in the year, and I still believe he's out in 4 weeks. You can't do that, V-Dog, because it's about evaluating the team and where they are right now.
Yep.
This team is not the same team that it was in the first 4 or 5, 6 weeks. Now this team is looking much different, and based off of them rebuilding a team from last year, and they went through a lot of adversity. They had a whole defensive coordinator quit, or leave, or whatever the heck happened.
Be dismissed.
They've had to redo the whole thing. Yeah, he can't quit.
He quit. He walked away.
They received
health reasons.
And Montez Sweat came in a few weeks ago, so he is definitely transforming his defense. You want to add something, Brent?
Yeah, I think what you say is exactly spot on, because you look at the fact that as you go from week to week, game to game, and they plan out everything, the thing that you need to look at through week 15, and I said it earlier in the podcast, and I'll say it now, is injuries. They stack up right now. The harder you play, and I learned this from talking to Mongo, Dan Hampton, all 85 Bears and stuff. The harder you play in practice, and you get like just dialed in through practices, the easier it is for you to play week in and week out. And it's all about the training and conditioning at this point. Week 15, you are totally ascending or descending depending on where you're at, depending on the key injuries that are on your team. Right now, we're very healthy, and we're looking really good. And against that offensive line, I'm telling you right now, number one, Justin Fields is going to give that freaking defensive line a lot of grief, man, a lot of grief. And the fact that their two key running backs are hampered with injuries, Ford and Hunt. Hunt's already had 7 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, and
the fact that he's got some injuries and stuff like that, and I'm very excited to see what's about to happen.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this, and rewatching the film of the Detroit game and stuff like that, Justin Fields was like goddamn Muhammad Ali out there, bro.
Yeah,
When I tell you, bro, I was sitting there.
I got to give him credit for that.
Bro, it's like 6 people in the backfield right now. Who's the 6th dude? Who's he?
He's making things happen.
There was so many people in the backfield, and Justin just duck, flip, spin. What the heck? What the heck was that? Like, I do think that he can give this Browns defense some fits. I am excited about what we'll see. And I do think that, right, like to the point of, what the future will be for Flus, what the future will be for, will he get the Brandon Staley treatment? This is a big game for his future because, listen, the NFL is a week-to-week league. And if you lose this week, depending on how you lose this week,
how you lose. Thank you.
You could be getting the Brandon Staley treatment probably at the end of the year, not so much at the beginning of the year. But it's like we said on the Bears podcast today. This is a game to me that sets the tone for what the conversation about you is. Because the rest of the season, right? If the Bears lose versus the Browns, but they win the next 3 games, Muzz are gonna say, "What's the Cardinals? You're supposed to beat them."
Right.
Well, it's the Falcons. You're supposed to beat them, even though they're a playoff team right now. Well, it's the Packers. You're supposed to beat them,
even though we lost to them earlier in the season.
That's what's the conversation.
And we should see what this team is made of. This is everything's right here. This is going to tell you what type of team we have because they got to get this one done and they got to get 3 more games done.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a great game to see. Hopefully they don't mess it up, and hopefully we'll see where we are moving forward with this team. I guess we should pivot to our third topic.
Should we get into this Bulls? We spent a lot more time on this than we thought. There's a lot of stalling so that we could show Kid that it's.
I mean, this is. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like a weird season. We got a lot of coaches potentially being fired. Like, you even have a Hall of Fame coach who's potentially going to be out. Like, is this a historic season from that perspective? There's a lot of people on the chopping block.
They fired Hall of Fame coaches before.
Not 6 rings.
I guess he's got.
But it's time. I mean,
and then got the most.
You got Mike Tomlin on a hot seat. He's never had a losing season.
But Andy Reid, I mean, he left.
His defense is cooking.
He left Philly after he never had a winning losing
but
season.
Andy Reid hadn't won those Super Bowls yet.
Andy Reid ain't got no chips, baby. Come on.
But he still had.
You fire Andy now, that's a big deal.
He won. I don't think
He's always won.
They pretty much. I don't think he's ever really had a losing season in Philly.
Yeah,
he's maybe one season.
That's the Mike Tomlin conversation, though.
But Mike Tomlin's losing season or his winning seasons are very different.
I feel like he's actually probably been more mid. Like he took advantage.
His winning seasons have been like 8-8.
Yeah,
it's 500, baby. I take it.
No,
that's
500, baby.
No, nobody wants 500.
It's not that he's had losing seasons. It's more so that he hasn't had a losing season because he's been 500. Where Andy Reid has been, 10-6.
Whatever you do, don't make me go
11-7. Right? Yeah, I mean,
but you know what? Too, it's more like I think like with Tomlin, like the more you start to see it a little bit more, like they took over Cowher's team, right? And that's team,
the biggest indictment.
Yeah, Bill Cowher, but
the team that he won the Super Bowl with is the team that Bill Cowher built.
Correct.
He hasn't won a Super Bowl since.
How many GMs got fired this season? 3. Chargers just fired theirs. The Raiders fired theirs.
See you, Lord Crimson.
So we got 3 coaches. We have 3 coaches definitively, and then 2 GMs.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Panthers.
Panthers fired them.
Yeah. Well, you got.
It's a lot of turnover going on this season. Bad teams. So I guess the real thing was the real reason I'm even going down this rabbit hole with this is because it's like, I can see where he's coming from as far as Flus being on the hot seat. I don't think Flus is going anywhere, but I absolutely feel like your offensive coordinator, Mike.
That could happen. I do think that could happen because it's easier to go to an offensive coordinator and say, because
even
get that guy.
Even the Steelers fired their OC.
Lovey survived how many offensive coordinators? He had a new one every year.
Because they had a great defense.
They had a great defense. Shout out to Mr. Inglewood. He said, so according to logic, reason of folks in the media, Chargers' new GM coach should be ready to move Justin Herbert because he's not their guy, right?
Stop it.
They believe in.
Stop it.
Listen, I would not move Justin Herbert, but
are you crazy?
I would say this. I do think that Justin Herbert is going to be the same guy for most of his career.
Well, he can sling the ball.
He can sling the ball.
He can sling it.
100%.
So give him. I mean, they have. Well, he's got Eckler.
Rivers.
What are their deficiencies on the Chargers?
Phillip Rivers, none.
No, their offensive game plan was very predictable.
So you think it's more coaching?
It was very predictable.
Because they had injured receivers, right? They had Mike Williams.
Got injured receivers.
Keenan Allen's
always hurt.
Always got injured receivers.
And they got a guy from
Eckler's in and out.
No, who's the other guy? Didn't they get a guy from Texas, TCU?
Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, he can't catch.
Can't catch.
He caught one touchdown last night.
That's hard when you can't catch.
Hey, listen, you know what that is?
I'm so glad we passed up on him then. I wanted him too. I'm like, we talked about it. He had good tape. He had good tape.
You know what?
Hey, that's called you shouldn't draft him.
Well, the whole point is
now,
that
granted, he
scouting.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? We sit there and we look at the coaches. We say that, listen, I don't care what nobody says, right?
There's a whole scout team on it.
Not even that. You have to be honest with this team. Like Justin Herbert turns the ball over at inopportune times, just like Derek Carr did.
Yeah, but when you're forcing your QB to throw as much as they were forcing him to throw, your turnover percentage is going to be relatively high.
There are times where
that's why
there are times where he's throwing the football because you didn't score touchdowns in the first half. That's how many.
Isn't he like top 5 in attempts per season?
He can be top 5 in everything, and just like Phillip Rivers was. You know why Phillip Rivers lost? Because of an untimely interception. It's no kill field. He don't like. Because of an untimely interception at the end zone, or an untimely interception in the play. Like. It's the same conversation. To me, he is like Phillip Rivers were like, I gift you fourth quarter interceptions.
Boom, there you go. Thank you, sir.
And let's keep this thing moving along, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. All that good stuff, man.